Laloki Psychiatric Hospital without running water for 4 months. Senior bank lawyer says legal profession must step up. And from London to PNG for a proud father.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's news. The only mental health hospital in the country has not had any running water for 4 months now. This morning, staff from the Laloki Psychiatric Hospital petitioned the hospital management to urgently reconnect water services into the facility. Staff told the EMTV News countless water committee meetings have happened with no proper feedback from authorities. Hospital staff have resorted to walking 20 minutes to nearby villages to collect water to cater for their patients and keep the hospital running.
Frustrated staff of the hospital gathered this morning to petition the hospital management. Their message was clear: restore water services to this mental health institution or have the hospital gates closed.
It's our demand, and if it's not addressed within 24 hours, our stand is very clear that we will continue to stop work. And we are appealing to the management to see this problem as a problem and to come with us and to address this issue at a higher level.
For the past 4 months, water services to the hospital ceased, seriously affecting both patients and staff. A staff numbering 160 along with their families are affected. Currently, they are accessing water from nearby communities outside the hospital perimeter.
Central time, we walk about 1 kilometer down.
In an off-camera interview with EMTV, Acting Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Ludwig Nanawa, said discussions with Adarano have resulted in a costing of 2 million kina to install a proper water system.
We expect them to have a MOU in place for the 2 million so that work should commence as soon as quickly to address water issue here. Because the consequences of not having water is emerged very, very big in terms of infection.
Dr. Nanawa addressed the staff today. However, the staff have planned to carry out a sit-in protest from 8 a.m. to 12 noon tomorrow. For 17 years, the hospital has suffered from this chronic water problem. Staff want authorities to address the issue with a long-term solution. Jack Lopave Jr., National EMTV News.
Madang police are investigating a series of killings related to sorcery claims in the Transgogol area. Pictures of a couple beheaded were circulated on social media just a day after the end of a sorcery conference held by churches to combat the problem. Madang's police station commander Jacob Bando says the suspects are known, but arrests haven't been made because of the lack of funding. He also said communities are also afraid to give information about the suspects.
The sheer brutality of the killings that happened in a village at the Transgogol area has silenced a whole community. Madang Police Station Commander Chief Inspector Jacob Bando says police are finding it difficult to make arrests because community members are afraid to give information about the whereabouts of the suspects. The killing happened over the space of 1 month. A man was beheaded, and then in retaliation, a couple was beheaded. The man's head hasn't been found yet.
These are the series of pictures uploaded last night on social media. The photos show the badly hacked, headless bodies of the couple. The images surfaced just after a sorcery conference in Ley that involved the heads of the Catholic, Lutheran, United and Pentecostal churches. The conference brought together key architects of the law to put together a package for legislators and policy makers that will see churches use their influences to hopefully stem the violence. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Ley.
Terence Higgins, the presiding judge at the Kokopo National Court, has ordered Finance Secretary Dr. Ken Nangan, Treasury Secretary Dari Vele, Justice Secretary Dr. Lawrence Kalinoy and Chief Secretary to Government Isaac Lupari to appear in court. Justice Higgins ordered the 4 men to appear at the Kokopo National Court on the 30th of this month to explain why the Rabal Queen trial was not adequately funded as directed by Justice Minister Anopala in June. Rabal MP Dr. Alan Marat raised the questions on the floor of Parliament in June this year, asking for funding support for state witnesses. Mr. Pala made assurances saying funding will be allocated to continue the trial. State prosecutors say there are more witnesses yet to testify in court, but these were put on hold due to lack of funding and has so far spurred numerous court adjournments. The Rabal Queen trial has dragged on for 4 years, making it one of the longest and most expensive trial to date. According to the Lawyers Act, banks are required to pay the interests earned on lawyers' trust accounts to the PNG Law Society. It was revealed through the Special Parliamentary Committee on Public Sector Reform and Service Delivery hearing that while BSP had been abiding by this law, ANZ has not. The hearing aims to find out reasons behind the lack of progress on the investigations into the allegations raised by an SBS television report last year, where 2 prominent PNG lawyers were implicated in participating in money laundering through their legal practice.
The Parliamentary Committee heard earlier that the PNG Law Society's investigation into the Shepherd Maladina allegations did not proceed because audit firm KPMG had indicated that there was a conflict of interest. This was cleared up by a KPMG partner.
I'm not sure where that perception has come from, albeit what we do understand is from a trust account audit perspective, the trust account's already been audited and you can't re-audit under our professional and ethical standards.
When KPMG learned that they were in fact required to find out about money laundering activities, they advised on a different scope of work.
Which would be an actual forensic investigation, and to do that there would be a completely different scope of works, a different resource base, so we as a practice would need to leverage our Australian firm who have that forensic capability for projects like this, and then we need to revisit the fee level. We then attempted to engage again with the Law Society to follow up on what that appropriate scope of works might be, considering all the facts and circumstances. And after several follow-ups, that ended up leading to a natural end and didn't progress.
Following this session, the banks were asked to clarify processes that they follow when suspicious activities are detected and if they have been paying interest accumulated by lawyers' trust accounts to the PNG Law Society as required by law.
It would appear that ANZ has not been providing the account information to the Law Society. We're currently reviewing our processes and procedures to ensure we fully comply in the future. While not all accounts earn interest, we have not been paying any interest to the Law Society.
In contrast, BSP was able to report that they currently have 29 lawyers' trust accounts and that they have a specific product that manages these accounts.
And this product ensures that interest earned is automatically paid into a specific account for the PNG Law Society. The auto-generation of returns also shows from which trust accounts the interest have been earned from. And we report this to the Law Society on a quarterly basis. The report provides the details of the trust accounts and the interest earned on each trust account. And the report is accompanied by a check payment of the interest earned in that quarter.
Both banks have automated and manual processes in place to detect and report suspicious activities to the Financial Analysis and Supervision Unit, formerly Financial Intelligence Unit. The one-day hearing yesterday found gaps in capacity and communications within the PNG Law Society and the Law Statutory Committee to efficiently investigate cases that they receive, while the banks such as ANZ have failed to ensure that what is due to the Law Society be paid to them. Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Bank South Pacific senior lawyer Jeffrey Emang made a passionate call for the PNG Law Society to uphold integrity in the profession. Speaking before the special parliamentary hearing on public sector reform and service delivery this week, he said annual fees paid by lawyers should be utilized to ensure that integrity in the profession is upheld.
I think perhaps we've got complaints where we lodge with Law Society ourselves as members. They've not been attended to over time, and of course there might be petty related to practice. But when that total sum, when you have a big matter like what's before us with outburst on SBS, it says so much about the legal profession. So personally, I think there's a lot that we can do to improve. That we're looking at, I'm sure the Law Society is looking at, say, CLE, for example, that if you don't attend enough CLEs, you don't qualify to practice in a particular year, as opposed to everyone that's coming out who's going to be admitted end of this month, just because he's got a law degree, he's able to practice and hold himself out as a lawyer when he's just he's not fit to be a lawyer.
Women law students recently teamed up with top Australian and PNG lawyers in a unique mentoring program. The program was supported by Australian government in partnership with the PNG Legal Training Institute, or LTI. Speaking at the opening, Justice Hitalai Polume paid tribute to the late Justice Catherine Davani, acknowledging that her many achievements make her an inspiring role model for LTI students to accomplish their own goals. 34 women law students recently completed a unique mentoring program. The two-day course was managed by the LTI in partnership with the Victorian Bar. The students were engaged in workshops on advocacy, ethics, and women's advancement within the legal profession. Justice Hitalai Polume encouraged the students to choose the paths they want to follow. Victorian barrister Christine Mellis encouraged the students to dream big and be inspired daily.
The thing that I do every day is, when I wake up, is I think about one thing that I'm grateful for, one person that I'm grateful for, and one thing that I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And that helps me get through every day and to continue to achieve and to know that.
LTI student Vanessa Paul said the local and international mentors were inspiring.
As a woman in a male-dominated area, and especially coming from the islands, that I feel more empowered. I feel that I am more equal to them. I can bring to the table as much as the male can. So the two sessions has been amazing and very empowering.
Australian High Commission Minister Councillor Catherine Fitch said Australia was pleased to provide this mentoring program, attesting to the value that having good women mentors can provide in the course of one's career.
Mentoring can play a huge role in giving women the confidence and support to reach their goals, and it's wonderful to see so many people here today taking up that opportunity.
The 200,000 Kina mentoring program and advocacy workshops were funded by the Australian government. Ms. Fitch said boosting women's empowerment in legal practice will support their advancement into leadership positions in the public service, the private sector, as well as in political leadership roles. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News. We'll have an update on the appalling state of Popondetta Market, also a new market for Minge and Koki's new fish market. All those stories after the break. Welcome back. Oro Governor Gary Jufa is concerned about the health and well-being of the people in Popondetta town, and he will meet with the provincial administrator to find solutions to fix a growing waste issue at the Popondetta market. Our journalist Fabian Hakalit has been following this story and has more.
Governor Jufa was responding to this EMTV News report on piles of neglected rubbish at the Popondetta market becoming an eyesore. Jufa said he had visited the market and tasked local authorities on ground to meet and find solutions to address the litter issue in Popondetta town.
The responsibility is with the town mayor, the urban LLG, the Higaturu LLG, the administration. And I've asked them all to meet and find some solutions to this. I have said this on many occasions. I've told the administration so many times.
The governor will call a meeting with the Northern Provincial Administrator to ensure this health and hygiene issue is rectified.
I'm very much concerned. It is a serious concern for the health and well-being of the town of Poponeta and the people of Oro. So, I'm going to be meeting with the administrator soon to find out how far they've gone with that.
These concerns came to light after EMTV aired a special report on the build-up of rubbish in the Poponeta town market. Market workers, including vendors, called for a change in the market management. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
The Poponeta market is incomplete due to misuse of funds. The police fraud squad left the investigations incomplete. Northern Provincial Police Commander Lincoln Girari has confirmed that investigations were conducted to this regard but were never completed. And Governor Gary Jufa says he will query this with Police Commissioner Gary Baki.
This Poponeta market was allocated funds between 2011 and 2012 but was left incomplete due to no funds. It's claimed the contractor company, owned by a current serving member of parliament, was awarded this contract to a tune of 3 million kina. However, to date, this project was never completed. Northern Province Governor Gary Jufa was very optimistic when responding to questions raised by EMTV News.
We reported the matter to police. The police started investigations. The police were recalled by the Commissioner of Police for whatever reason, and that market still remains incomplete.
Jufa said to query this matter with the Police Commissioner Gary Baki, as the Poponeta town market is among other investigations amounting to almost 8 million kina.
The market is one of those cases. If that market was properly built, it would have a litter a facility there for garbage disposal and so forth.
Meanwhile, Northern Provincial Police Commander Lincoln Girari is aware of this case. Since taking office this year, he found the investigation into the Poponeta market project still hanging loose, and for some unknown reasons, investigations conducted by the Prod Squad was incomplete. Girari says he had established this investigation and will continue once funding is made available. Fabian Hakelitz, National EMTV News.
With the assistance of public-private partnership, mothers at Minj Town in Jiwaka Province can now sell their vegetables under proper shelter. Molka Lodge at Minj has sponsored the construction of a new market worth over 60,000 kina. The people of Jiwaka Province witnessed the opening on Monday.
"4 years of being a province of its own, and Jiwaka has seen gradual changes. Changes from infrastructure buildings to people's mindsets. At the opening of the new market, farmers were told to farm and produce more. Mothers who sell their fresh produce under umbrellas were dressed in their cultural costumes to show their appreciation.
When you start to have the heart of people, don't worry about big things. God will find a way for you.
Jiwaka Province is known for being one of the 5 agriculture provinces in Papua New Guinea. Most of the fresh vegetables, including cash crops such as coffee, are grown in Jiwaka. Most of the people in the province depends highly on subsistence farming to earn a living, as well as to buy their children's school fees. Farmers have urged businesses and the government to support the agriculture industry. The owner of Molka Lodge, Gabriel Kum, and his wife, Julie Gabriel, said that they always see mothers selling food under broken umbrellas in good or bad weather just to put food on the table, and this has made them to build their new market. Vasenata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Minister for Sports and Mosby South MP Justin Tichenko announced that the long-awaited fish market would be opened at the end of the month. The opening of the fish market will add to the transformation of the landscape around the Koki area that's been continuing for the past 4 years.
The Minister for Sports and Mosby South MP Justin Tachenko this week announced that the new fish market will be opened in about 2 weeks' time. Koki Market and the new fish market area is one of the oldest traditional trading spots for Papuan villagers.
So this market will be finally open in the next 2 weeks to serve our Motukoi Tabu people that use the sea to make a living. And this is the first time too that we have a market dedicated to our traditional landowners.
The new market holds 90 stalls. It has lavatory facilities, an ice-making machine, and even fuel facilities, to mention a few.
This area of Koki is transformed in 4 years. From a brand new market to our betel nut market, to our footbridge, to our fish market, this whole area has been transformed in a very short period of time for the benefit of all our people.
The opening of the new fish market facility is expected to encourage income earning for fishing communities. It is also expected to encourage and promote healthier diets among city residents. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, a new transit lodge to be built in Port Moresby is expected to have a significant impact on the lives of those who rely on local markets to sell their produce. The Australian High Commissioner, Bruce Davis, was among those officiated at the ground-turning event for the transit lodge, together with the local members for Moresby South, Abao and Rigo. The transit lodge is an innovative addition to the UN Women's Safe Cities program, which is helping to address women's safety and engagement in markets in Port Moresby.
The people of Central Province, especially those from Rigo and Abao, have been travelling to and from Koki to sell their produce since pre-independence. Since then, especially in the last 4 years, the market has seen much change and development. Minister for Sports and National Events and Moresby South MP Justin Tachenko said the transit lodge will really assist especially the mothers and children who come to sell and end up sleeping under the benches to continue their sales the next day.
We see all our Rigo people and all our Abao people sleeping in the market with no proper facilities, no toilets, no proper bedding, sleeping out in the rain, the hot sun, the dust. That's not good enough.
Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davis said the Australian government wants to support local initiatives like this.
Women be able to become even more entrepreneurial.
In addition to funding the transit lodge, the Australian government will also work on a new road entrance and upgrade the bus shelter. Minister for Public Service and member for Abao, Sir Puka Temu, pledged 100,000 kina as Abao District's support for the project. Minister for Justice and Attorney General and member for Rigo, Ano Pala, said the people of Rigo have been selling their goods at Koki for decades, and the new infrastructure will set a new commercial climate that will hopefully benefit families and improve their livelihood. Work on the 50-bed transit lodge will begin in 2 weeks and is expected to be completed mid-2017. It is being built at a cost of about 1.3 million Australian dollars, which is about 3.2 million kina. Deli Waigeno, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed lower at 0.3150 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying 0.3075 US dollars, 0.4077 Australian dollars, 0.285 euro and 33.2 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, cocoa and copra closed higher while coffee closed the day lower. Palm oil closed unchanged while crude oil and copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 54.9 points lower, the ASX is trading at 12.4 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 11 points higher. Still to come on National EMTV News, Gulf Governor granted leave and University of Goroka confident of hosting its graduation after this year's unrest. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. A leave application for a judicial review on a committal court decision committing Gulf Governor Havila Kavo to stand trial at a higher court was granted by the Waigani National Court. Justice Colin McKyle ruled that the leave be granted today after he was satisfied with only the first ground of the submissions.
This case is in relation to misappropriation charges against the Gulf Governor and his two co-accused. It was alleged that a sum of over 7,000 kina, which was given to the provincial government by MRDC, was misappropriated by the trio. Mr. Kavo was committed to stand trial at the National Court in Waigani after Committal Court Magistrate John Kaumi made a ruling on the sufficiency of evidence. This morning, Kavo's lawyer told the court that Kavo was not given a chance to respond to the Committal Court ruling through Section 96 of the District Court Act. Other submissions on which the application was made were on the lack of evidences linking Kavo to the misappropriation charges provided by the police prosecutor at the Committal Court. The leave was granted because the court found that Kavo had an interest in the case and is eligible to contest the case. The matter returns for a direction hearing on December 5th. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
The University of Goroka is confident of graduating over 1,000 students in April next year. This was announced by the University Council, who met to finalize academic work and grades for final year students last week. The Council said all students from years 1 to 3 who have completed their 2016 academic studies will finish at the end of November, while final year students will complete their studies in December.
Following the boycott and the resumption of classes, there has been many talks of whether university students will be able to complete their studies on time. For the University of Goroka, it has been a tough year. However, they have managed to pull through and are now near completing the 2016 academic year. Students are now doing their clearance, which is an indication that they have done all their assessments.
This week, the year 1, 2, and 3 are given the clearance forms, have the next week or two to complete their semester, and then they will have the exam, and which is a good sign for us.
Chancellor Joseph Sukuya-Nom says the university has successfully completed the first semester and says all assessments, including teaching practice of the final year students, are near completion.
By 16th of December, which is about 4 weeks away or 5 weeks away, we should successfully complete everything that we want to do in this academic year, despite all the challenges and difficulties that we faced as a nation and also as an institution of the state.
He thanked the university's partners, parents, students, and the national government who have shown support in helping the university. Meanwhile, Vice Chancellor Sine Barres says the university is confident that it is graduating quality students to join the teaching workforce.
But if we didn't complete the year, and these are the people who probably will go into the, say, teaching unqualified, uncertified. And the country needs to know that for 1,000 students who are likely to graduate early next year, having completed the academic requirements, are now eligible and are qualified and will be certified to go and teach as a qualified teacher.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
Chukai Sports is next. All the action from the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup continues after the break. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. PNG lost to European champions Sweden last night, however narrowed the margin from their previous game against Brazil. Here's Jeremy Mogi to tell us more.
Thank you, Helen. Sweden star striker Stina Blackstenius scored 4 goals as Sweden ran away with a 6-0 win over Papua New Guinea at the Sejongkai Stadium last night. The PNG side were a much improved team from their 9-0 loss to Brazil and played with confidence, stringing several passes together, much to the delight of the home crowd. Several long-range efforts on goal from striker Ramona Pario just went above the crossbar. Sweden will now face a winner-takes-all meeting with Brazil in the final Group A match, with this result also guaranteeing Korea DPR's progression. The FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup has drawn fans from around the globe into Port Moresby to watch and support their national teams. One fan in particular has travelled all the way from London to Papua New Guinea to watch one game and support his national team, but perhaps being the loudest among the crowd for one reason: his daughter is in the Japanese national team.
Meet Mr. Mizutani, as he prefers to be called, the father of Japanese midfielder Yuki Mizutani. Upon hearing her daughter's participation in the Under-20 Women's World Cup Papua New Guinea 2016, he decided to pay a surprise visit to his youngest daughter, Yuki. Working with the shipping company in London for 3 years, Mr. Mizutani last saw his daughter in early January, and being away from his youngest sibling, he admits it's been hard. Here in PNG, Mr. Mizutani spent 2 days watching his daughter train from a distance and longing for the father-daughter reunion, but could only wait for Japan's second group stage match against Spain, where he hopes his daughter would make an appearance.
Don't know, might come here, then maybe she's surprised, I think.
Yuki, however, is not new to PNG, having toured with the young Nadeshiko in mid-May this year in friendly matches against PNG and USA. The 19-year-old plays in the midfield for Japan and loves football more than anything, and her father believes Yuki is proud to represent her country. After traveling 38 hours with little knowledge of PNG, this determined dad just wants to witness one game.
Only one match I show, and then return back to London.
And catch a glimpse of his daughter on the world stage. And if time permits, a chance to meet his daughter, and then rush off to the airport to be on the next flight out of Port Moresby and back to London. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Brazil coach Dorival Bueno has said he will get his team organized and that they will come back stronger in the quarter-finals qualifying match against Sweden on Sunday. This comes after Brazil suffered a 4-2 defeat in their match against Korea DPR yesterday.
Smoothly and that everybody has...
Brazil, a team that has executed wonders on the field time and again, was put to test yesterday by Korea DPR. Known for its upsetting wins that normally leaves its opponents trailing behind, the South American team met an equally overwhelming Korean side yesterday. In spite of Brazil's dominance of ball possession, Korea DPR's forwards kept making their presence known just outside Brazil's defensive third. Korea DPR bagged 4 goals while Brazil's counterattack saw them at 1 point by half-time.
Third goal of the tournament.
In the second half, the Brazilians came back stronger and maybe a little too rough, as Giovanna was sent off the field with a red card after 2 consecutive yellow cards. As Brazil turned the speed up a notch in the dying minutes of the match, so did Korea's defense. Brazil coach Dorival Bueno said both teams played as equals and his team's only failure is not scoring when opportunities arose.
Vai estudar a Suécia e eu acho que elas entrarem dentro de campo como se fosse uma decisão. Colocar todo o espírito de competitividade, todo o empenho que normalmente nos jogos elas já têm colocado. Eu acho que se nós fizermos isso e mantivermos a mesma organização tática que tivemos no jogo da Papua Nova Guiné e no jogo da Coreia, a gente tem grandes possibilidades de fazer um bom jogo e conseguir uma vitória e passar para a próxima fase.
Brazil will face Sweden this Sunday, while Korea DPR will take on PNG. Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
And finally, defending under 20 champions, Germany have defeated Mexico by 3-0, while in the other match, France had a 2-2 draw with Ghana. That's it for me. It's back to Helen with the rest of tonight's bulletin.
Thank you, Jeremy. In the news ahead, a conference on sports and money. I'll bring you the details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. A Money in Sports conference held on the Gold Coast, Australia for 2016 saw high-profile business founders and CEOs be part of the two-day conference. The program saw panel discussions with individuals and business partners sharing experiences and ideas from a business perspective when sponsoring and hosting big sporting events.
Now, the Money in Sports conference brought together business professionals from around the world, from directors to CEOs and other business professionals, sharing ideas and experiences while targeting key areas such as what makes a brand, what makes a successful sponsorship, and data in changing sports and other necessary topics. A ministry of panel discussions on stage by several business CEOs, directors and business partners focused on areas that needed more attention in the world of sports. Some of the key elements discussed in the two-day conference were future trends in sports, the difference between a customer and a fan, sports from a CEO's perspective, and bringing brands to life in stadiums. CEO of Global Investment and Omnicom Media Group, Barry Couples, said coming together and identifying strengths and weaknesses helps an individual to succeed in life.
For me, forever, I'm always thinking I can learn, because we always are learning. I probably picked up 6 or 7 really important pointers from the panel sessions today that I know I can use when I go back to my job.
Founder of Train to be Clutch, Joshua McDuff, said in order to succeed, you just have to be you.
Don't be afraid to take the hard path. Stop trying to avoid struggle. Soft roads create soft people. We don't need any more soft people in this world. We have enough of them.
Kickboxers.
Vicky Saunders, founder of Sponsorship Consultant, who was also a guest speaker on the day, said the sky is the limit if people are willing to gain more profits in sports-related events.
And I think we've all got slightly different takes and experience on how money in sport is generated and how it's spent and how it's the relevancy of it.
Now, the Money in Sports conference was a way of networking for big business houses from around the world, catering to hosting big sporting events. Now, the next Money in Sports conference will be held here in Gold Coast at the Jupiter's Hotel from the 13th to the 14th of November 2017. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports, Gold Coast.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region only, showers in Port Moresby and shower or two in Daru, Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And that's the way it is today, the 17th of November 2016. Stay tuned. Coming up after the news, New Zealand takes on the United States in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. From the entire EMTV News team, it's good night.
Pacific, wash our feet, hand in hand, let's stand as sisters with equal skills. Unity and peace we shall find, bring the world with